I got a comment recently about an unconventional technique you can use with Conan's new Tavern system. We all know you can populate your taverns with this system, but for role players, what about other things? Well, the best way to find out is to try. I've built this structure here, kind of ugly, but we're here for what's inside, and that is a small theatre. The actors within have been practicing hard for their next production, but the seats are empty. Very sad. But what if we could fix this? I'm sure the Septimero Theatric Society would be very pleased to finally get some people in, so let's give it a try. Now, we're starting off simple. Every theatre has a refreshment stand, so I place the bar in the back left corner. Usually a tavern bar would be in a central and easily accessible location, but we're trying to use this as more of a means to an end, so it's squirreled away here. As for the seating, 16 benches with 2 slots each for a total of 32 seating sockets. We're going to try and get NPCs to come into the theatre, sit on these benches and watch the performance. However, firstly, there is a slight issue, and that is the stalls at the bar. They can't be removed, and I don't really want NPCs sat there, so I'm going to place some fighter thralls on these stalls so that the NPCs coming into the theatre will have to populate the stands instead. Aside from the benches, there's no other available seating, so let's get the barkeep behind the bar, open the doors, and see if it works. Well, it definitely worked, but not to a great effect. The bar only attracted 8 NPCs, which makes for quite a sparse covering in our theatre. Not great for opening night. Therefore, I added a second bar in the other corner and filled the stalls with thralls again to see if a second bar would help. Yeah, didn't really do much. I was hoping it would attract at least a few more NPCs, but no such luck. I removed the bars and cleared out all the NPCs and then tried again by placing both barkeeps in their respective bars at the same time, and unfortunately, no bueno. So, dejected and saddened, I did what I usually do and got distracted. I came back and noticed that actually, it was bueno. More NPCs had appeared, we had a total of 12 now, but some were getting stuck, which might have been my fault due to the bench placement, so let's fix that. They definitely had a much better time pathfinding with this layout. Until this guy and his friend come in, and then I just removed the bench and they kind of behaved themselves. I then AFK'd for a little while, made a coffee, all that jazz, and just let the theatre populate. When I came back, I was greeted with a truly beautiful sight. With what I presume is the maximum amount of NPCs attracted, we can move our thralls from the bars to the seats, and the Septimero Theatric Society can finally commence their production for a reasonably packed house. I'm gonna be honest, I presume this would work a little smoother than it did, especially after the introduction of the second bar. However, after moving some of the chairs around and fiddling with the bars, we managed to get a decent chunk of NPCs in here. 26 people in total after the reshuffle, minus 8 thralls that were on the bar. We managed to get a total of 18 NPCs in the theatre, and you know what? I think that's pretty good. As a proof of concept for alternative designs, I also wanted to try the same idea with the bar completely hidden. In this example, I've built a mini church front with pews and the such, and the bars are actually inaccessible, squirreled away underground behind a closed door. You do have to put thralls on the tavern stalls, as NPCs can still failsafe teleport to them, but generally, this method works fairly well. I wouldn't be surprised if this method gets even better in the future. I'm fairly sure just from my own experience that bars attracted less patrons in the public beta than they do now, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're patched and updated in the future to attract even more than this. However, as an option for filling up builds, I think this technique works quite well, and it opens up some new avenues for roleplay with the Tavern system. And there you have it, some alternative uses for the new Tavern system that was added with the Age of War Chapter 3. Thanks for watching, and of course a massive thanks to our wonderful esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. I know there's probably already a decent chunk of you that worked this out, but I'll be honest myself, I just thought, well, Tavern system, it always has to be a tavern. Well, apparently it doesn't, but I think this actually works reasonably well once you knock out a few of the teething issues with the system. Hopefully you guys find it useful for your own builds. Again, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.